Today at approximately 6:15 a.m., Justin Ferez Smith, he's a black male, 9/18 of 92, was arrested by members of the North Texas U.S. Marshals Task Force at a residence in Grand Prairie. Smith is the suspect in yesterday's triple murder. When task force officers entered the residence in Grand Prairie, Smith arose from the couch and was arrested or taken into custody without incident. Smith was transported to the Crimes Against Persons Division this morning, where he was interviewed by homicide detectives. Smith admitted his participation in the offenses. He has been placed in Lou Stewart for capital murder. His bond is set at $1 million. Yesterday, August 2nd, at about 6:40 a.m., Smith entered 5125 Winell Street to conduct business. Inside the small living room were victims DeMarcus Walton, Tatiana Brown, and Kimberly Montgomery. An unnamed female witness, or victim/witness because she was also shot, was in an adjacent room on a couch. Smith was known to the victims as J-Dog. A confrontation occurred between the victims and Smith, resulting in their deaths. Smith then entered the adjacent room. The female begged for her life, saying she had babies. Smith left the room momentarily, but returned and shot the woman in the head as she was curled up in a fetal position. He returned to the living room and gathered for a few seconds and then gathered items. Smith then revisited the adjacent room. He kicked the female witness to determine if she was still alive. She played possum and fortunately survived the incident. Smith then shot at a fifth person from inside the house. This witness is an employee of victim Walton. Smith exited the house and attempted to shoot the witness again. A struggle ensued between Smith and this witness. The witness reports hearing the gun click, click, click several times as they fought. Smith, during the struggle, attempted to reload his pistol. A sixth witness, a female, walks up to the house. Smith challenges her with the pistol. This provided the fifth witness an opportunity to flee, and he ran away down the street. Smith entered his vehicle and sped toward the witness, striking him intentionally in an attempt to kill him. Smith then fled the scene, and that witness survived and was interviewed by detectives yesterday morning. Smith went to his mother's residence in Arlington, where he hides the guns from the offense location and his clothes. He then showers, leaves, gets a haircut, and at some point later on in the day, he goes, seeks refuge with his mentor at a residence in Grand Prairie. Homicide detectives executed a search warrant this morning at the Arlington location. Detectives recovered guns, clothes, and other items. I'm not going to go into that. And Smith's family is cooperating with detectives. 8 homicide detectives worked on this case overnight, and we were assisted by numerous supporting work groups, the deployment operations, and the federal task force and such, then along with our fusion center here in the house. Tireless work. We were certainly concerned that Smith's actions were an imminent danger to this community, and that if he would possibly or probably take other lives if we did not get him into custody. In fact, the lead detective just left here about 1 a.m., so she was up all night. I'm sorry, 1 p.m., so she was up all night. So, questions?
What was the business? You said he entered the home in Winell to conduct business. What type of business?
Yeah, Johnny, I'm not going to get into the details of the business. We executed a narcotic search warrant of the residence yesterday. Evidence was seized that corroborates that that location is being used as a narcotics point of sale. So it's presumptive then to say that the business was narcotics related.
What do you mean by mentor when you say that?
That's his words. Jeff, I don't know what he meant, and that was the words that he used, and then we have other corroborating evidence that mentor. So it's someone that he seeks out when he's in the Dallas area. Smith is from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and when he frequents this area, he does talk to his mentor.
What can you tell us about the YouTube site, the video on there?
You know,
that has features in it?
Yesterday, detectives did some research, and they found some video from Smith online that depicts, those videos depict a student in the University of Arkansas. It's a person that you would not stereotypically place in street narcotics sales, but none of that takes away his culpability. So even though you see that person, that person is also the person that's responsible for 3 deaths, and he also tried to take 3 other lives. So he is culpable, and he's responsible for those deaths.
Did the victims have associated with the J-Dog, or whatever they call them, or Mr. Smith often, or how well do they know?
Johnny, they did know him. This particular house had been operational for about 5 months is kind of what we're working with, and it has to do with one of the victims, Walton's relationship with the location. I know that we were looking yesterday about previous narcotics complaints and things like that, and there was nothing that came up immediately. In terms of the J-Dog, that was a nickname he was given by those that associate that house.
How you got to the house in Arlington? Did you receive an anonymous tip, or how you got to the house?
I'm not gonna talk about exactly how we got to the house, but we were given information that we gathered information, developed information that led us to that house in Arlington.
What about the neighbors in the area? They should be worried about, or what are they gonna do with the house? Is it...
No, Raina, part of the efforts that we're taking that were secondary to the murder investigation, but were also very important, and that was the follow-up on the narcotics side. So investigative efforts are continuing on the narcotics side. As I mentioned earlier, corroborative evidence to establish that was a narcotic point of sale were gathered, and narcotics is going to follow up on them the next week and then take those actions to close that house down and put it out of business and render that neighborhood safe.
Major, prior to the arrest, does it appear that the parents of Mr. Smith or this mentor knew anything about the shooting?
I mean, I'm not going to go into that.
How do you feel that he's behind bars? Because you mentioned that your concern yesterday was that this person is very dangerous and he was out there. Now, knowing that he's behind custody, what's the feeling of the Dallas?
Well, I'm very proud for the efforts of the teamwork of the homicide detectives and all of us that supported them. And, we were notified about 7:15 yesterday of this incident. So within about 30 minutes, the homicide group was getting woke up, and they worked, so certainly well over 24 hours continuously. So I'm very proud of that effort. That's the type of effort that you see day in, day out in homicide, and in many other places in the department, so yes.
And what about the community? They should be like relieved that the guy behind
I would hope that the community sees that the police department is working hard on their behalf and to make the community safe at all times.
Major, how's the condition of the fourth victim?
Fourth-
That was shot.
I don't really know the conditions. I know that she is seeking treatment at Baylor Hospital. I will share that she was able to be interviewed yesterday, and she picks Smith out of a photo lineup.
Does it appear that her injuries at this point are still life-threatening of some sort, or?
I don't believe they're life-threatening. Again, we were able to interview her. She was able to. She was in a position that she was able to give us an identification. Her long-term outcome, I hope, is favorable. We hope it's the best possible outcome for her.
And I just want to talk about, there was a fifth person that was injured as well, hit by a car?
Yeah,
Correct?
right. So you've got 4 individuals in the home.
Right.
Okay, 3 are in one room. They're in a direct confrontation with Smith. They're murdered.
Right.
The 4th is asleep on the couch. He takes direct action to kill her. He believes he's killed her. And then the 5th was an employee. He was outside of the location during the time of the shooting. Smith engaged him, attempting to take his life. They had a physical struggle. A 6th walks up. Okay, you had a question over here?
Yeah, I was going to ask, are all of the witnesses and victims involved in the drug trade, either as sellers or buyers? Is that what y'all?
I don't know. I really don't know their participation in the location.
So 3 3 people dead is a big crime, but it could be 6.
Yeah, I think we knew this early yesterday that we were very fortunate that the outcome was not worse, and that potentially had Smith been able to fire his weapon in a manner in which he tried, or certainly later on when he hit one of our witnesses in the car, he was trying to take 6 lives. Yes. All right, guys.